Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions, by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such corporate stalwart on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Keerthi Jayaram. He is a lead architect with a remarkable career spanning nearly 2.5 decades, marked by significant contributions to the field of automotive infotainment and embedded systems. With a strong educational background and a diverse range of technical skills, Mr. Jayaram has held pivotal roles at prominent technology companies, driving innovation, architectural excellence, and managerial leadership. At present, he serves as a senior manager and lead architect at Capgemini India, leveraging his extensive experience to provide strategic direction and architectural guidance, ensuring the successful implementation of cutting-edge projects. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Mr. Jayaram.
Oh, thank you, Sunny. Thank you for this opportunity.
So, Mr. Jayaram, our viewers would like to know in brief about your career journey so far.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, I think quite a lot about my experiences. It has been almost 2.5 decades in the industry. So I've seen the full journey. I would say my journey has been all these 23 years. It's been like sometimes it was a roller coaster, sometimes a smooth ride. I've seen all the things. So if you see from my starting days in '99, and then immediately after a couple of years, we had this WTC event where there was a slowdown in the industry. So, and then we had this 2008. But if you see the other way, right, there has been a lot of things which happened after this events. In fact, after this event of WTC, we saw the industry gaining traction, going forward. The outsourcing industry, especially in India, booming. And again, I saw a lot of things in my own industry where I've been working with automotive clients, moving from a lot of newer technologies coming in, and a lot of sea changes, I would say. What we would say in my starting of the career, like 1999, and now what I see in the automotive industry is humongous change. So you can see a lot of things like even autonomous car coming in, a lot of new developments happening. So overall, I've been, I would say that I've been in the right time of the technology era, I would say, where things are moving fast. It's taking to different dimensions, I would say, right? As you see, things are changing such a and the technology is changing by the minute, I would say, right? So or even maybe by the second. So it's a really challenging and exciting time to be, and it has been all these years, 23 years for me. Right from my days when I started my career with Motorola, which was a premium company at those days. And I saw also I was in other companies like Continental, which is a world-class leader in auto parts supplier, as an auto parts supplier. And of course, I've been in the Indian IT industry companies like Wipro, and now with a European company, which is also a services company, but more into the IT services space, which is Capgemini. So even here, we can see a different way of working, culture. I've experienced all the things in the past 23 years. It has been a long, nice journey, I would say.
Thank you, Mr. Keerthi, for the excellent start to this interview. And it's an honor to interact with someone who exudes such a strong corporate personality.
Oh, thank you, Sunny. Thanks for your mind.
So, continuing our conversation, we would like to know, as you have a really vast professional portfolio, which of your jobs have you enjoyed the most?
So I am a techno managerial of a person all these 23 years. Of course, there has been a lot of business angle to this as well. It's just not a technology aspect as well. So I would rather enjoy all the technology areas, all the new things coming in. So if in my career, of course, at the starting days was always exciting for anybody because you're new to the industry, you're seeing something new, and you're experiencing a lot of new people as such. Once you come out of your college or university days. So that was something which was really nice in those days, which was Motorola as its own culture, with a different environment altogether. And that was one thing which I really enjoyed. And later on, I was working at Continental, which was a German auto supplier. And that was really exciting because we were the few initial members who started this organization in India. So that was something which was really a challenge because we didn't have any projects on our side. We just started a center with a few people around and something in mind that, okay, things will go in a great extent. It will grow, the center will grow. And that was our aim, and it has grown up of late. So that was one more time when it was really exciting, those times when we started the center, because we got into new things which are the business side, where we start a captive center, how things will turn out. Because if we have a center, because if you work with an Indian IT services company, which is a well-established company, right? There is all the ecosystem built in. Whereas if you go to a new company, which is a company which is already established though in the world, but not in India, and we are trying to set up something, we have to prove our own expertise to a lot of people, show that, okay, we can do certain things out of India and bring the things here to India. So this is all a lot of challenge and a lot of learning, in fact, for me. So these are the two times which I feel the most exciting times of my career. But of course, there has been many other projects, many other work, which has also given me great satisfaction. But these two has been really nice for me, or really the times when I learned a lot, actually.
Okay. So, building on that, could you share some learnings that you have condensed your professional experience into with our viewers, please?
Yeah, so I think one of the, of course, perseverance is a great thing, I would say. You have to perceive, and of course, somebody also said work. Work is one thing. Of course, you have to pursue also certain things, and the other thing is in learning as on the soft skills, right? I would say, right, where you, of course, there is a lot of learning on the technology side when we are in the technology industry. But on the soft skills, I would say that so there has been a lot of learning for me, especially when we interact with diverse set of people. So I've been now interact with all the geographies, all the from Japan, Korea, China, and except to the Middle East, probably. Okay, the Europe and North America, and to some certain extent even the South America, Latin American countries. So how we can present to each of these different diverse cultures, diverse set of people, because we are in the offshoring, outsourcing kind of business most of our times, what I worked on. So most of our projects has been outsourced by some other geography. So I see that working with diverse cultures, and that is a great learning, in fact. So you will come to know each day, okay, right now I work with a team in Portugal, which was never I worked with, and I learn a lot of things about their culture. It's just not about the way of working, also the cultural people aspects, how people live there, in fact, to that extent, right? So, which is even to that extent where how they use the public transport there, or any of these kinds of things. So, a lot of interesting keeps coming in. So, one of the greatest things I would say is that to understand different culture, work with them is the nicest thing which I have got, and I have learned how to talk to different people. How you talk to people in Japan is totally different from how to talk to on the Western world, right? So it's a real nice thing what I've learned. So this is one great thing. Of course, as I said, perseverance has been one of the key things. Maybe if at some point anybody in their career would feel that okay, there is something which they might have seen something that rock bottom or something. Okay, but we can come back. There is always a chance to come back. There is always some opportunity which comes up. So you have to keep trying, and things will work out. Is what I feel.
Amazing. Mr. Keerthi, thank you so much for sharing your professional journey and experience. So let's move ahead and let's dive into the landscape of corporate governance. And in this purview, our future leaders would like to know what sparked your interest in ESG and corporate governance.
Okay, so I think there are two parts when somebody says about ESG, especially, right? The environment is a real law. Of course, it's no longer a buzzword. It's a real problem everybody has in the world now. So I think we don't address this now. I think it's a problem for the humanity itself, as would I say. So that is one thing which I've been trying to read a lot about environmental impact. What are the issues which are causing problems around the world? So something which struck me the first level about ESG was this. Of course, being part of an industry, how can we be part of such a change? So this is where we can bring a change. Okay, there is a change, of course, in the policy aspects where we are part of a government organization or some NGO or something where we do a lot of things. That is also, I don't deny that there's a lot of work there involved where we can contribute to the society. But this is a way of another way of contributing to society where we influence the industries, where if at all we are working with those companies or getting onto their boards, we can try to talk to them, get a buy-in from them to work on these areas, to get many companies, I feel they've not even done a head start. So there's no so this is where I would say that though I'm not being an expert there, but at least I try to contribute. Of course, this is also a learning again. So once we get into this mold, we try to understand the issues and what the company challenges faces in terms of implementing these kinds of environmental norms, for example, or regulations, and taking it forward is one of the major things which I felt. And of course, social aspects is always a company has to involve in social aspects. There is labor, there is of course its own ecosystem, people around it, maybe it's suppliers or even if there's a manufacturing plant, how they're handling the social aspects around the plant, the people are, how are they impacted if there is an impact on them. So all of these issues comes into picture. And of course, there is a lot of emphasis of late on governance. If you see, I think there is, I've been seeing, reading a lot of what the SEBI is trying to do. It has been wonderful. In fact, I'm also grateful to the Director Institute because we have been arranged with all these sessions with Mr. Jayamurthy sir. So he is giving great knowledge and insight about how SEBI is also trying to bring in all these governance factors, ESG into the boardroom, and trying to make the board more resilient, understanding about all these aspects, and be more transparent, especially in the governance aspect, right? Transparency is something which is very important, right? I think, of course, I feel now companies are improving a lot. There is a lot of openly they're publishing their data. They're giving all of their work areas. They're publishing all these things. These are happening. but I think there is still a lot of things to do. For example, even in terms of governance, right? There is a lot of many a times there is a question mark on how a particular director is into the company, or he's getting into the board, or even somebody is getting into key managerial positions, how they are getting into these positions. So all these areas, sometimes there is a gray mark in some of the companies. I wouldn't say every company has a problem. There are certain areas, certain things. So a lot of such things, and of course the financial aspects. There is always people with a hawkish eye trying to look at the financial matters of a company, how it is going, and especially with all the online material available online, everybody is trying to go through them. And so this is where I see governance is a very major factor, of course, in a company where we have to get into the real depth of all the areas, try to streamline things if there are problems. So this is where I would, of course, contribute. So environment is one of the major thing which I was really interested in, and of course, governance will take also an aspect in this. Will also be a great aspect of work involved if I get into any of these boards.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Keerthi, before we conclude our discussion on corporate governance and ESG, could you tell us what values do you bring along as an ESG and corporate governance expert?
So I would say that I can. My whole career has been clear as such. As I would say that I've never had my own profile. If you see, right, I have had a very clean career, and I would rather try to keep this and try to bring in as much as try to look at every angle of the governance, and I'll try to see what is the best for the company also, right? It's not just of course, looking at the policies or trying to get it implemented, but how we can get into the areas and make it happen with as the best the company can benefit out of it also. So this is what my take will be when I'm trying to get into any of the boards or any of such positions. So the main idea is that the company should ultimately be beneficial, and also the larger stakeholders, shareholders, everybody should be beneficial. And so that way I would like to contribute and look at all the areas of ESG, and look at each of the factors what would influence ESG, and help the organization. Ultimately, what would be our goal would be to help the organization. It's not that it's not like getting into and trying to monitor everything, right? That's finally how we go along with the company or boards and try to make the boards more resilient to these kinds of factors.
Rightly said, Mr. Keerthi. Okay, so let's move ahead. And this is from your space, that is technology, since it has become an integral part of our lives now. So our viewers would like to know, as someone working closely with technology, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology? That is part A. And part B is, what changes do you expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, etc., etc.?
So my own industry, as I was telling in the initial part of the discussion also, is that it has been a sea change actually in automotive space. When we started in my almost 20 years back, in fact, I started in the automotive space somewhere around 2000, 2001, though my career started in 1999. So we had a very primitive radio, for example, in the vehicle. So now we have connectivity to the cloud. We have a lot of big data, analytics, name it anything. So somebody mentioned an an automobile, a car is more like a data center, and it's as good as a data center. So this is the sea change what we have seen in the automotive space. So it is a huge number of electronics, lot of software, a lot of technology involved. I think even this was being discussed from the days when I started also. So a technician who is repairing a car is no longer just a technician. He's almost a technology. He needs to know a lot of technology, in fact, also. So that's how things have spanned out. Of course, safety has been one of the key areas. As you see the vehicles nowadays, you can see a lot of safety features. Even on Indian vehicles, you can see a simple thing for many of the cars. You can see a rear view camera, which was not there in many of our cars earlier. It's a kind of if you see any of the new cars, as even the low end of the cars also having such a feature. So these are the things which have driven the industry, and as you go at the value chain up, you can even see that an autonomous car, or even not fully autonomous also, there are a lot of autonomous features, what you can call, which are like lane detection, or drowsiness, or there is a passenger, so you can see the person in front of, there is a collision avoidance, somebody's in front of the vehicle crossing the road, so vehicle can brake immediately. So all of such things has come in, and it's a great thing. So there is a lot of interest in all these areas. There is a lot of change in all these areas. So coming to the overall industry, if you see, right, not just on my own industry, but all the across, AI ML is no longer a research area, right? It's a real impact to the life as of now. So you can see that everybody's just not talking. Everybody is now looking at how to bring in AI and how to improve the efficiencies in companies, or how to bring in efficiencies in the organization. So AML is no doubt a path-breaking thing which will happen, and it is going to change our lives. Of course, hopefully it will be for the good of it. And there is also a lot of things on the cyber security. If you see now the threats, right, what we see. So I don't think ever we would have imagined 10 years back even that even our data is so precious now, and somebody stealing any of our data can misuse or do anything with our data. So I'm just giving you an example on the data, but there's a lot of aspects in the cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is one other major area, I would say, that is going to have a great impact on how we do business, how we operate, how we talk to different organizations, what are the exchanges we have to do, how we do all our data exchange. So this is all going to impact a lot, especially on the cybersecurity. Of course, there are other technologies like things like IoT, and which is kind of sometimes maybe augmenting these kinds of things, or maybe with IoT also we have cybersecurity. So all those things will in a way have certainly this, but two of the great important things I would say right now, which we have to see carefully handle both of these, is like AML and cybersecurity. These are the two areas we have to take it forward, but with a very great caution as well, is what I feel.
Okay, so here is my next from your space, that is again automotive space. And since the rise of EVs, so what is the future? Nitrogen, hydrogen, lithium ion, sodium, hybrid, or something else?
So I would say research is happening in everywhere. So see, who can bring in the scale, right? So EVs at the right now, when you see the market, there is a market for EV. So easily you can generate business out of it. So whereas hydrogen or whatever any other alternate fuels people are talking about can come in. There's no doubt about it. It will come in. Hydrogen is, of course, one of the things majorly being taken care by many of the companies like Hyundai. I was seeing, reading about an article where Hyundai is saying that okay, they will they want to switch to hydrogen, in fact. And same thing, in fact, Toyota was also pitching in for this kinds of not going for EV. So EV also has a lot of environmental impact. People talk a lot about things about precious metals and all those things, right? So finding the right so they have to mine a lot, for example, right? So there is an impact. Whereas with hydrogen, people are saying that may not be there. So again, if you foresee, I would say for sure the ICE engine is dead. The internal combustion engine, the gasoline, petrol will die. There is no doubt about it. It's a matter of time. But the EV, for sure, as of today, has a market. It will go on for a while. Hydrogen is the most likely thing which will take over from the next after the EV. So, but that has a wait and watch. That I would say we need to still wait and watch. But I would still bet for that. If somebody asks me, I think the hydrogen is what, because people are. It finally boils down to the big auto players, automakers, right? Like Toyotas or Volkswagen or Hyundai. So how they take it forward as well. So how they can leverage these technologies, how they can bring in new things, scale these technologies. So this is where they have to look at and do a lot of research also before getting to the market.
Amazing. That was very insightful of you, Mr. Keerthi. So this brings us to the last question of the session, and here it is. Yeah. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole team of World Development Corporation?
I would like to thank the directors for coming up with such an initiative of even identifying for independent directors from the overall community. It's not just with a select few, right? So now opening up things. So this is one way where we can get into the boards and make a real impact. So ultimately, I would have to thank Zishan and Havel for setting up this initiative, coming up with as well. And also, I would also like to thank Mr. Jayamurthy sir, because I've been part of those sessions, and of course, there's been Havels and Zishan, they have facilitated to bring in Jayamurthy Sundaresan to the table and give all these sessions, insightful sessions, I would say, to understand how the board works, how the day-to-day activities happen there, and how we can really pitch in and what really is should be our contribution there. So I think these are great things which have been happening. I would like to thank the Directors Institute and keep up the good work, and also help many more people like me, okay, to get into the boards.
Amazing, amazing. Great, Mr. Keerthi. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you once again, Mr. Keerthi Jayaram, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.